Good morning. Welcome to East Montgomery County News on Lone Star Community Radio. We record live every Monday at noon from downtown Conroe. I'm your host, Margie Taylor. We hope to inform local residents of Porter, New Caney, and Splendora of the happenings with the Chamber, the New Caney and Splendora school districts, law enforcement, nonprofits that serve East Montgomery County, and local businesses. Listen in every Monday at noon to learn more on Lone Star Community Radio. Our guests today on the show are Rick Hatcher, president of the Greater East Montgomery County Chamber, to tell us about the future events, membership, and East Montgomery County happenings, and Jerilynn Williams, library director of the Montgomery County Memorial Library System. Now's the great time to start that summer reading program, so we hope to hear a lot about that, and that is not just for kids, adults as well. So before we invite our guests into the studio, a few updates. Tomorrow is Election Day. If you did not vote last week in the early voting, tomorrow is the day from 7 to 7 at all 90 polling locations throughout Montgomery County. You will probably start to see signs come up throughout the day and into the afternoon, and it's very important that you go out and vote. There's some judicial races coming up, the railroad commissioner, and it's very important because these candidates could win by just one vote, your vote. So please go out there and take 5 minutes to go in and cast your vote and bring your ID with you. If you need additional information as to where your polling location is, please go to mctx.org/election, and that will be able to navigate you into where your closest polling place is. Volunteer recruitment class for the East Montgomery County Fire Department is August 1st through November 16th. They will meet every Monday and Wednesday from 6:30 to 9:30. You must be 18, and upon completion, you will be certified under State Firefighter and Fire Marshal Association as a certified entry-level firefighter. So if you are interested in expanding your horizons as a career firefighter, contact the East Montgomery County Fire Department. You can go to their website, mcesd7.org, for additional information. Some important dates. June 1st is the Greater East Montgomery County Chamber Monthly Luncheon. And the speaker will be Commissioner Jim Clark, who will be giving updates on the road bond and projects around the county. So we all want to see what's going on out in East Montgomery County and how the road bond that has been approved through the voters, what the progress is, what's going on, how it's going to affect you, and other projects that he may want to talk to us about. June the 6th is Concerned Citizens meeting at 7:30, and they meet at the library. The library has lots of different places that you can meet. They have community rooms at all the libraries. So if your group, organization has a desire to have a meeting in a location, you need to contact them. October 1st is the Sawmill Festival. That is going to be a fabulous event with axe throwing, a lumberjack competition, tractor races, and live entertainment. We will find out a little bit more information about this shortly from Rick Hatcher, and that will be at the East Montgomery County Fairgrounds. A program starting today and going through Memorial Day is the Click It or Ticket campaign. What that means is that every person needs to buckle up their seatbelts every time they get in the vehicle. Do not tempt fate and get a $200 ticket or worse, injure another person. Memorial Weekend is one of the busiest weekends to travel, and the law enforcement will be out checking to make sure that everyone in your vehicle has a seatbelt on, whether they're in the front seat or the back seat. In fact, this morning before 7 a.m., 3 Splendora High School students were headed to school and were hit by another vehicle carrying 2 Caney Creek students. The second vehicle was pulling out from a private driveway, and they hit straight on in a head-on collision. 5 people were injured and taken to the Conroe Regional Hospital, but they are all okay and doing well. But it just goes to show you that you never can tell what's going to happen or what comes down the road. So it's very important that we do all wear our seatbelts. Last year, 2,370 vehicle crashes happened out in Montgomery County. 1,854 were very serious. Wearing a seatbelt keeps everybody from being ejected in a crash and increases the chances of surviving by 45%. In pickup trucks, that number jumps to 60% because trucks are twice as likely as cars to roll over in a crash. So again, this is Click It or Ticket campaign weekend, and law enforcement will be out checking to make sure that everyone has on their seatbelts. Did you know that in April, it was actually the busiest month for accidents out in our county? There were 16 fatalities in April alone, and there were 3 more in May. So we need to all be sure that we are not driving irresponsibly or aggressively. And that is all the updated information we have this morning. When we come back, we will hear from Rick Hatcher. And you are listening to East Montgomery County News at Lone Star Community Radio.
Tune in on June 7th at 1 p.m. for Veterans Air, the Veterans Hour here on your Lone Star Community Radio. Veterans Air, news, talk, and commentary for veterans, their dependents, and our military members. This month, we'll highlight the Military Veterans Peer Network with Ashley Taylor, who will tell us everything we need to know to be a veteran in Montgomery County. And introducing our new co-host, Dangerous Dan, the Muffin Man. Veterans Air. Think of us as a land nav course without a compass.
Hello, I'm your host, Margie Taylor, and with me in the studio is Rick Hatcher, president of the Greater East Montgomery County Chamber. And if you would like to hear a podcast of this, that will be available on Wednesday for today's show. All you have to do is go to our show page, irlonestar.com/EMCN, to see today's podcast on Wednesday. So, Rick, how's it going?
It's going great, Margie. Thanks for having me here today.
I'm glad you're here. So, Greater East Montgomery County, what area does that encompass?
You know, for the most part, that is going to take care of Grangerland, Splendora, all of New Caney, Porter, as well as we have members that are all the way over to the Woodlands, Conroe, and Atascocita, Kingwood, Humble. It's a rather a large area, but we cover a lot of businesses in that area itself.
How long has the chamber been around?
You know, the chamber started in 1990, and we had a guy there, but that is still in business today, Mr. Dick Roden. He was there. I mean, Lewis Roden, excuse me, Dick's his brother, but Lewis Roden helped start that chamber along with Isidore Ybarra, who is a longtime resident of that area, and they've been around since 1990. So they've been doing a great job in the East Montgomery County area for a long time.
How many members are there in that chamber?
We are just a little bit under 500,
Wow.
and that generally is pretty the same amount from month to month, because we do have members who drop out. We do have members that join. This particular month, we're going to have somewhere around 8 new members that will join, and that's pretty much on an average is about 6 per month that will join in. Retention is always something that every chamber struggles with.
Sure.
But, you know, if the chamber members really do get involved, they'll see what great things happen with the chamber. They'll stay involved.
So you have a monthly luncheon, and what else do you do monthly?
We have what we call Networking Wednesdays, actually, because the first Wednesday of each month is the chamber luncheon, as you mentioned, and we generally have somewhere around 150 or so on average who
That's
attend
a lot.
that. It is a lot. That is a very rare that too many chambers have a luncheon that's that successful, but we've done well with that, thanks to my predecessor, Andy Dill, who was really involved in that. He did a great job in getting the membership up as well as making things happen at those luncheons. On the second Wednesday of each month, we have the Observer newspaper as a partner, and we will have a luncheon over at Homewood Suites. Anybody can come to that they want to. and we have a little bit of information that the Observer gives to us. The third Wednesday is a community breakfast, and we have that at Kingwood Medical Center. Fourth Wednesday is open, but you never know when something might happen.
Right. So another way they can get involved is through the ambassador program, and that is where they represent the chamber at other events and make members feel welcome to be there and try to give them more information of how they can be connected. Is that correct?
That's correct. And the ambassadors now has really caught on fire over at Greater East Montgomery County Chamber, because we have a new direction with Mickey Keys, who has came on as our membership director, as well as he's over the ambassadors themselves. People are really excited about things that are occurring over there, and we have almost 30 ambassadors that are working right now.
I'm one of them.
I know.
And I love it. It's great. It's a great way to meet people and to get involved. You know, the more you get involved in the chamber, the more it works for you. You know, anybody will take your money for a membership. I mean, they will.
Absolutely.
But, you know, for it to really work and for them to feel like they're getting something out of it, they need to be involved. They need to come to the luncheons and meet other people, or the breakfasts, or any of the other special events that you have going on. And that way they get informed of other businesses that maybe they might be able to connect with, because there's a lot of new businesses and a lot of growth in East Montgomery County.
Yeah, it's amazing to me how many people will join a Chamber of Commerce, not just ours, but almost any of them, and really not do much of anything. And then they, at the end of the time frame comes up for the year and they're ready to renew, they say, well, what has the Chamber done for me? The real question is, what have you done at the Chamber meetings? Because what we are offering you is many, many opportunities to connect with other businesses and increase your business throughout the time frame that you are a member. There's so many opportunities that we have probably 150 different opportunities throughout the year that you can get involved in, whether it's business after hours or coming to luncheons and networking events. There's all types of things that you can get involved in. And if people do that, they will see their business grow.
Absolutely. I very much believe in that. You know, involvement is a key to any organization, I think, you know, and getting new relationships through those involvement. So you have a lot of great programs and special events. You have annual events. You have a sawmill festival coming up. And I believe you're starting with a new East Montgomery County leadership program.
Yes. One of the things that we noticed that in the leadership Montgomery County, there wasn't a whole lot of representation from East Montgomery County, and we were trying to improve that very much.
So in the past, that involved high school youth as well. Does this new program have high school youth as long as adults in the program?
No, this will be all about the adults population that's there. This first year that we are getting involved, we will be hand selecting a lot of the people who will go through the program. But those are many of the city leaders and among other people that will be involved in that. But we're going to be starting that program in like September or so.
Okay, fabulous. I'd love to hear more about that. Well, we are going to take a little break and come back and learn more about how to get involved through some of the programs, some of the events you have coming down the road, and more about leadership. Thanks for listening.
Stay tuned to the EMC News Hour with your host, Margie Taylor.
Animals of all shapes and sizes are welcomed at Big Thicket Vet in New Caney, with vet services like extensive health exams, vaccinations, heartworm, tick, flea prevention, along with experienced and trustworthy emergency and urgent care. For more information on Big Thicket Vet in New Caney, visit bigthicketvetnc.com or locally at 18403 FM 1485 in New Caney, Texas.
EMC News, your local news from EMC every Monday at noon on Lone Star Community Radio.
Hello, you're listening to EMC News at Lone Star Community Radio, recorded in downtown Conroe. I am Margie Taylor, your host for the hour-long talk show. We are here every Monday at noon until 1. We are here today with Rick Hatcher, president of the Greater East Montgomery County Chamber, and I would like to continue with a little bit more about your leadership program and how that differs from LMC, Leadership Montgomery County. So first of all, how long have you been with the Chamber?
I started in Chamber in January of 2014.
Okay.
I spent 35 years with Entergy prior to coming into the Chamber. When Andy Dill left, his position came open in around September or so, and I had been working with the Chamber for many, many years, actually since about 1992.
Wow.
So I had been around. They knew who I was, and when Andy left, they actually contacted me and wanted to know if I would be interested in interviewing for that job. They were real interested in my background in economic development because I am a certified economic developer, and they really wanted to hound in on those kind of things to make sure that we were able to grow the community as much as we possibly could.
Fabulous, and that's important with the economic development experience and leadership you have in that, because there is so much going on. So you spoke about a new East Montgomery County leadership program, and you said that would begin in September?
That's right. The leadership program really was in existence at one time, but then it went away. The Leadership Montgomery County is a much bigger program in the fact that they have about 40 participants every year. That program is about a little over $1,000 or so for a participant to get
$900.
Yeah, for the person to
know.
get involved.
Personally.
And what they cover is a lot of things that many people really need to know about their community if they're going to ever be in a leadership position. Because they need to know how the infrastructure is taken care of in an area. They need to know how the government works. They need to know how the schools work. They need to know how all the things that make up the county work together to be able to provide the quality of life that we all look for in an area that we are. A lot of that goes right back to that economic development background that I have, is that we covered a lot of that stuff when I was involved in economic development, because you would be surprised at how many companies, their wives will make the decision of whether they make the move to a new place or not because of the quality of life issues that might be there.
That makes sense.
So
Schools are important.
Exactly.
The governance, all of that.
So we have to make sure that our leaders are very aware of what makes up a community.
So the East Montgomery County Leadership Program will begin in September, and if somebody wants additional information, they would contact the Chamber to find out about that?
Yes, we have a committee that is working on the curriculum and everything right now.
Okay.
We have a meeting actually this next Wednesday or so to talk about things that are going to be on that curriculum. And it'll be a little bit different than Leadership Montgomery County in the fact that these programs will be given at night. So they won't be an all-day program, which is what LMC is.
Right, one Thursday a month.
Right. So this will occur on what day? We're not sure if it's going to be a Tuesday or a Thursday. We were still looking at Thursday ourselves. But it's going to be more like a 3-hour program for about 5 months. So they'll be covering a lot of the same information. It just won't be as in-depth, because most of it will be about East Montgomery County.
As it should.
Yeah, right.
As
so
it should.
There's where.
Well,
that's
that
where it
sounds
differs.
very interesting. So you have a big event coming up October 1st, the Sawmill Festival. Why? I mean, I know that in the past they have done it at the Chamber, and then last year I was involved in that committee, and we had it over at Bull Salas Park at the fairgrounds, and it was bigger. What is going to be different? What are you adding on this year that's different from last year?
Well, let me back up just a little bit, Margie, and give you kind of the history of why we are where we are and what we plan on doing with the Sawmill Festival. For many years, the Sawmill Festival turned out to be on the MSED building parking lot.
Correct.
And it just wasn't nearly big enough to supply all the things that we had in plans for the growth of the Sawmill Festival. When I first came into office here as the president of the Greater East Montgomery County Chamber, one of the things I was looking at was how can we grow this chamber and make it as good and as best as it can possibly be. One of the things that this area was built on in Montgomery County, all the way from way up in the eastern portion of the United States, all the way down to just about Humble, Texas, this was built on the timber industry. And one of the things that the Sawmill Festival did not really do as good a job as they possibly could have is to really hone in on the culture of what has built this particular area. As you know, oil and gas really kind of started right there at Humble with
Right,
olive oil
right.
and stuff. But up north of there, and even east and west of here, it was all about the timber. So we were trying to make sure that we were really getting the people involved in the culture of what made
So you're
East
bringing it
Montgomery
all
County.
back and bringing in that history of how East Montgomery County really got started with that area specific to sawmills and logging and things like that.
Absolutely. Montgomery County was one of the most prolific counties with sawmills, and from a historical standpoint, there's been over 256 sawmills that have operated in Montgomery County. There's only one county in the state of Texas that had more, and it had 257. So you can tell that just based on those numbers alone, there was a lot of sawmill activity and timber activity that took place in this area.
So what are you going to add to this event?
One of the things that we did last year is we brought in a group called Paul Bunyan Lumberjack Show, and they were the show that operated in the Canadian Pavilion of Epcot at Disney World.
They're very entertaining.
Very entertaining. We brought those guys in, and what we wanted to do was get the people a good taste of what the lumberjack industry was all about, and have them understand what made up this area so many long ago. So we are really working to make that even a bigger show than what it always has been.
So you're adding a few other pieces to the show. You're adding a axe throwing contest, which sounds a little dangerous.
Yeah, well, it's pretty well controlled, to tell you the truth. These guys, they know what they're doing, and as actually a couple of weeks ago, they were in this area and let me throw an axe, and I hit the target. So we're doing good. I think that it's going to be great fun, but I can give you more details on that as well.
Well, I'm looking forward to that. So you're having tractor races, you're going to have live entertainment, which I don't know if you have the live entertainment lined out at this point. So we're still some months away. But that is going to be Saturday, October 1st. It's going to be an all-day deal out at the fairgrounds, and it's going to be better than last year, because last year was in June and it was very hot, but we had a great attendance anyway. So there will be opportunities for vendors to get involved and show their goods. I think we had over 70 vendors last year, and there's
we
also
plan to grow that
food
as well.
vendors as well, and concessions, lots of things going on. So anything else you would like to add before we close this segment of the show, Rick?
Yeah, one of the things I want to tell you about the Sawmill Festival itself is we are adding a full-fledged competition for lumberjacks this year. So it's going to be an exciting time of growth. And we went into this thing knowing that it was going to be an evolution. We were going to start with the lumberjack program that we had last year. We were going to grow this thing into a huge and major event.
Prize money?
Actually, for Houston. Yes, there is some prize money that's involved
And there's
in that.
people coming from throughout the area, not just Texas, but other areas as well.
There are people
correct?
coming from Virginia, New Hampshire, quite
That's
a few
exciting.
places, that are coming in for this particular event. So it's going to be a great time. And we're going to grow this thing into a major event for Houston, Texas, because there is nothing like this in Texas that is operating right
Wow,
now.
we're going to put East Montgomery County on the map
Exactly.
for sure. So if anybody wants to know more information about the Sawmill Festival or the monthly luncheon or membership or anything like that, they can come. They can go to your website, GEEM Chamber.
Yes, GEMC Chamber.
.com,
That's correct.
and call anybody there on staff.
That's right,
And they'd be able to help.
281-354-0051.
Excellent. Love it. Well, thank you, Rick, for being on the show. And again, this podcast will be available this Wednesday, 2 days from now. And it will also be available on the Chamber website. So thank you very much.
Thank you. My pleasure.
Stay tuned to the EMC News Hour with your host, Margie Taylor.
Lone Star Community Radio is FM. That's right. Set your radio dials and your button presets to Conroe's FM 104.5 and 106.1, coming in June of 2016. To celebrate this edition and the addition of video versions of our talk and music shows on YouTube, cable TV, and Our City TV, we are offering special sponsorships rates, which include free audio spots that are played throughout our broadcast. Interested? Check out our sponsor rates for shows just like the one you're listening to online at irlonestar.com/sponsor, or call the station at 936-647-5747. reaching the people of Montgomery County with Montgomery County's community radio station with Lone Star Community Radio.
Stay tuned to the EMC News Hour with your host, Margie Taylor.
Hello, this is Margie Taylor, and we are back with EMC News at Lone Star Community Radio, recording live from downtown Conroe. We are here every Monday at noon till 1. If you would like to be a guest or sponsor the show, please contact me on Facebook, EMC News, or give me a call at 936-828-6881. With me in the studio right now as my next guest is Jerilynn Williams. She is the director of the library at Montgomery County Memorial Library System. Thank you for being here.
Thank you for having me, Margie.
So tell me, what is your role with the library? You encompass all of the library system. How many libraries are there?
There are 7 locations of libraries. We have one in almost every area of the county. We serve the growing population of over 500,000, and it's my responsibility to organize and administer the funds for the library and to determine staff and activities that we have.
So you determine the staffing and the funding for all 7 sites?
Yes, I make requests to the Commissioner's Court, and they do an allocation. We're a department of the county, and with those 7 locations, we reach into all of the different precincts of the commissioners.
Well, you know, I think the library is something that's always been around, and people just kind of take it for granted that it's there. Back when I was in school, a long time ago, we used to go to the library to hang out and do homework assignments and things like that, and do group projects. Do kids in school still do that? Do they use the library a lot?
Certainly. We continue to provide a space for individuals to come together. Many assignments now are work group activities, and so we do have some study rooms and conference rooms. We have a lot of youngsters, particularly over in East County, because the Tullis branch is just across the way from the new Caney High School,
right.
And so many youngsters walk across in the afternoon. They come to our teen hangout space, or they use the computers that are there, or they may be checking out materials for assignments. We also have cooperated with the schools in setting up Chromebooks that are compatible with the educational component at the schools. Youngsters were assigned Chromebooks on different levels, and so we have 6 of those that youngsters, if they've forgotten theirs or if they're not at the stage that they can check one out from the school, they can come and use a Chromebook that is set up with a school image there at the Tullis Library.
That's really interesting. I did not know that. You do a lot of things through the internet now, right? I mean, you have reading programs. You just mentioned about the Chromebooks and their homework assignments and things like that. So that's a whole growing area that people may not be as familiar with as well.
Well, and we even teach computer classes. Mm-hmm. We have a young lady who is there 2 days a week, and she sets up formal classes on everything from basic internet to digital photography.
Really?
To this summer, she's going to do some classes in conjunction with our summer reading program, and that will have QR codes, making a bracelet with binary code. She's going to have a QR code search, even some scrapbooking with how to set up scrapbook pages. So we have lots of activities for all ages.
So with those computer classes, do they also have the Excel, Publisher, and maybe Photoshop, any of those classes as well?
Absolutely, and they're on a rotating basis. So let me put in a plug for getting more information rather than trying to write all this down. If you'll check out our website, which is www.countylibrary, all one word, all lowercase, .org, and
Perfect.
There's a
we'll
section under events, and you can limit to a particular area, such as the Tullis Library.
Okay. So you have lots of different programs there. I saw that you have a genealogy, history program. You have book clubs. You know, if people don't realize that there's different groups that they can get involved with, and they read particular books, and then that tells you what book they're reading. And this goes on at all the branches as well.
Correct. It depends upon the interest of the particular area. There may be some locations a classics book club or a mystery or a nonfiction book club, and so we tailor the programs to the That's right, to the individuals that are interested in participating and to the interested level. In fact, this summer there is a preteen book club that will be held during the summertime, and we'll continue with that activity as long as there's interest.
Oh, I think it's amazing. I always took my kids to the library when they were young, and they started reading at 4 or 5 because I think reading is so important. And also going to story times and things like that. And you still have those programs as well. The story
we do. We hold the story times for preschoolers, even lapsit and toddlers throughout the school year time. But during the summer, we really try to focus on the school-age child, and we've developed what we think is something for everybody. So we have the summer reading program that is kicking off with registrations on May 31st, and there will be activities up until the end of July, but the deadline for turning in reading logs to get prizes for activities that you do with the summer reading is July 15th.
So there's a reward program for reading so many books.
But, incentives, we try to call it.
Incentives, yes. There are incentives, but you know, when you read, it just takes you to another world, and there's so much that you can learn from reading books. So what I'd like to do is take a little break here, and we will come back, and I want to talk a little bit more about ebooks and the summer reading program that starts next Tuesday.
Great.
Lone Star Community Radio is Montgomery County's community radio station, and we are looking for talk show hosts and volunteer DJs for our music shows. Are you interested in having your own talk show on Lone Star, or have you always wanted to live out your dreams of being a music DJ? With the addition of Conroe's FM 104.5 and 106.1 and video aspects of our talk shows, we are needing people to grow with us. If you or someone you know might be interested, please contact us online at irlonestar.com/contact us, or call the station at 936-647-5747 for more information.
Check out EMC News on Facebook. Like us to see more about coming shows and guests.
Hello, this is Margie Taylor, your host for EMC News, and we record live from downtown Conroe every Monday from noon to 1. The podcast from this show will be available in 2 days, on Wednesday, and that will be on lonestar.com/EMCN. It will also be available on the East Montgomery County Chamber website. So please look for that and share it. So back here with me is Jerilynn Williams, the Director of Library Services for Montgomery County Library System. And we are talking about the summer reading program, which kicks off the 31st, a week from tomorrow. And this has been going on for a long time, the reading programs and things like that. So why is it important for everyone to keep reading? And when I say everyone, I'm not talking just the kids, but adults too.
You've got it, Margie. Everyone needs to read. It's an essential skill. Teachers tell us that school-age youngsters who participate in the summer reading program can be known in the classroom because they don't backslide. They don't lose 2 months' worth of reading skills. And so our goal always is to foster that joy of reading and to encourage lifelong learning with all of the individuals who come into the library. We focus on the preschooler during the school year because they need that enrichment, but during the summertime, we really want to reinforce those reading, listening, viewing skills and to help bridge that 2-month gap. Plus, we want folks who come to the library to have a good time. And so the reading program is a way to inform, to educate, to entertain. And so we plan a lot of activities and programs that are educational as well as entertaining, and that we cater to every group and all ages. For preschoolers and toddlers, we're going to continue story times, but we have a play date area. We also have the Duplo Jam and a Lego lab that youngsters can participate in.
And how does that relate to reading?
Well, because they have to read instructions or they have to interact. Our vision is to enrich lives by providing access to information, ideas, and interactions. And so we think the socialization of youngsters, the interaction, the understanding of the use of materials, whether it is electronic, digital information, or whether it's on the printed page. And so having youngsters come together, learn some basics. And so we share that. And then for the school-age youngster, we really move into some more interesting programs. We have planned visits from Ronald McDonald and Julian Franklin. We're going to have a program on crocodile encounters, Texas snakes, which I probably will be in another area.
You'll probably get a lot of guys with that one, right?
Well, sometimes it's an overflow crowd because
Really?
people are really interested. And we're certain to not have any poisonous snake. It's all going to be non-venomous.
There's a lot of snakes out lately. I have not ever seen snakes, but this spring I've seen more than I've ever seen.
We also are going to have our tween book club for those 9 to 12, and that's going to meet at 3 p.m. on June the 22nd. We'll conclude with a Soul Street dance. Now, I don't have all the details, but it sounds like lots of fun, and we have some good folks planning this at the Tullis branch. For teens who are, we consider 13 to 17, we have a lineup on Tuesday and Wednesday afternoons, It includes a Rubik's Cube Challenge, Minute Mayhem. You've heard of the Minute to Win It. So we have a takeoff on Minute Mayhem games. We have a challenge course, and they're going to make some treasure boxes. There are 2 really special activities that we're engaging. One's a henna workshop. The other is a traveling rock wall that they can climb. But because these are special activities, we will ask for a parent's permission to be able to participate.
Safety things. So you have a lot of really interesting programs, and it's very important to have some kind of interaction and social skills and things like that, especially with the teen kids. How do you connect them, and how do you keep them engaged, and what kind of outreach program do you have to let them know about these programs that you're doing?
Well, we do a lot of publicity through brochures and through our website and then through visits. Michelle Greer, who's the young adult librarian, makes visits to the schools. Lynn Christensen, who is our children's librarian at that location, also goes and shares information. And we do our best to publicize in many venues what we do have available. Our technology gal is going to do those special programs that I mentioned earlier, plus those basic activities. And then last but not least, we have an adult summer reading program so the whole family can get involved. Adults can sign up starting May 31st, and they can read whatever they want. And that's probably
and you have
the
incentives
basics.
For them as well?
And we have some incentives for them as
go.
well. There will be a prize drawing at the end for each of the titles that an individual reads. They can drop their name in to a container, and at the end of the time there'll be a drawing for a prize. I want to share that one of the programs for adults is on fermented foods, and I was taken a bit aback and looked at it a little more closely because Nina Desi is going to come and talk about Mira.
Yes,
Desi.
I know her.
And she's a nutritionalist, and she's going to explain how these fermented foods can strengthen your immune system.
Beneficial.
And my understanding is she's going to bring some samples of kombucha and live kraut. So a little tasting there of foods, but we're also going to have programs on beekeeping, Bigfoot, as you mentioned, genealogy basics, astronomy, and the fad right now is stress reduction through coloring for adults.
Yes, adult coloring books.
So we're going to have an evening of coloring, Color Me Calm, we've called it, from 6:30 to 8:30 on July the 7th. And then your inner performance can come out. We're having an open mic night for adults from 6 to 8:30 on July the 12th. So you could bring your friends and family and share your talents that
I'm
evening.
thinking you need to come back and give us more updates of all these programs, because you have a lot of programs that people don't realize that the library offers, and they are all free.
They are all free.
Okay, that's really important, that all these things are free and paid for through your taxes, and because of the county. You know, as a resident, you can come in and use these things.
And I also want to mention that some of the funding comes from the Friends of the Library. The Tullis Branch Friends are very supportive for programming, some of the craft items, refreshments. The county doesn't pay for food, so if there's refreshments involved, in fact, there's an ice cream social planned for the preteens, and that's going to be supported by the Friends of the Library at Tullis.
That's nice. That makes a good partnership. So how many books should a person read during the summer? So if you have let's say a school-age child anywhere from 8 to 14, how many books should they be reading in the summer?
Well, we've transitioned from a number of books.
Okay.
We let youngsters make the choice, and instead of there being an assigned topic or titles, we say we encourage you to read about 5 hours over the summer in those 6 weeks. And if you're a preschooler, we ask that the parents or someone be engaged with you for 10 activities that are outlined, and those all come in a little reading log in our partnership with the Texas State Library. And if you complete at those levels, then you would get a book bag with some prizes, coupons from local eateries or activities, and then you would have the opportunity to participate in a celebration at the end of the summertime.
So what's really neat is what I'm hearing you say is this is a family project. So for any age of the children you have, from preschool to adolescent to teenager to adults, there's all kinds of programs for reading or getting involved, getting connected with the library, and it helps strengthen the family too if you do this together. There's opportunities for peers to get together, the same age group, no matter what their age is, whether they're the adolescent age or the teenagers. There's special programs designed to just encourage their socialization and engagement. There's a lot more to the library than people know.
Something for everybody.
There's something for
everybody.
everybody.
And we feel that we're the heart of the community, and we want you to come down and utilize that opportunity to either be together or to check out materials. We'll work with you to select things on the particular level for the reading, or to encourage you to extend your reading horizons.
Well, very good. I appreciate you being on the show today. So today we've heard from Rick Hatcher, president of the Greater East Montgomery County Chamber. And we have also heard from Jerilynn Williams, the director at the Montgomery County Library System. And you can go to www.countylibrary.org for more information on the summer reading program that starts Tuesday, May 31st. That's a week from Tuesday. And what's interesting is the chamber and the library in East Montgomery County are right next to each other. So it makes for a good union and good partnership. So this show today is sponsored by Big Thicket Veterinary Clinic in New Caney. Visit them for all your pet needs, big or small, including livestock. And yes, they make house calls, because for your horses and pigs and chickens and anything else like that, he probably needs to come visit you. This is Margie Taylor, East Montgomery County News. We appreciate you listening and look forward to our next show.
Thanks for checking out this production of Lone Star Community Radio, Montgomery County's community radio station. For more information on this show and other shows on Lone Star Community Radio, check us out online at irlonestar.com. If you're interested in sponsoring a program on Lone Star Community Radio and reaching the local audience of Montgomery County on FM, internet, TV, media, please call 936-647-5747 or contact us online at irlonestar.com. This recording is a Lone Star Community Radio production produced by the show host and Dick Schischler of Lone Star Community Radio. Interested in volunteering as a music DJ or starting your own talk show? Contact Dick Schischler at dick@irlonestar.com or by phone at 936-647-5747.